The title's State of Decay sets up an easy joke about the game's unflattering first impression. Its shabby visuals, tired aesthetic, and seemingly aimless design make it easy to dismiss without further examination. But where most other games merely gloss over the survival fantasy concerning the zombie apocalypse, State of Decay relishes in it, delivering an intriguing and altogether unique open-world simulation of civilization gone awry. A linear story thread that kicks off the proceedings first puts you in the shoes of the vacationing store clerk Marcus, as he ambles from objective to objective in the game's first furtive hour of exploration. Over time, it becomes apparent that these missions merely serve as guidelines, teasing you with intriguing landmarks in the distance, deserted outposts ripe for scavenging, and random distress calls pockmarking the map. Will this church be a safe place to turn into a homestead, and will befriending a few wayward survivors be worth the trouble to feed these extra mouths? More than anything else, State of Decay is a game of endless curiosities that constantly beckon your attention, where the peril of survival lies in deciding which deserve to be acted upon. Combat against the undead horde is only a fraction of the experience here, but as you might imagine, you'll have to throw down every once in a while to make it to another dawn. To this end, you'll find that Melee carries a rough but altogether tactical feel that includes maneuvers such as ground executions, pushbacks, and the comical but effective dropkick. Depending on your weapon and encumbrance, movesets and swing speeds will change accordingly, and resorting to an unsuppressed firearm always carries the risk of attracting unwanted attention. There's definite risk either way, and the janky and often unresponsive nature of going toe-to-toe means that avoiding combat altogether will often be the most preferable course of action. State of Decay rests its biggest decisions on a broader game of survival that goes beyond merely staying alive. At its utmost level, it's all about maintaining a safe haven and fostering a tight-knit group of survivors. Threading through the finer details, it becomes a game of resource rationing, fortress renovation, and community building. Gaining the trust of strangers through good deeds earns you respect and an extra helper to post at watchtowers you've built, or station at kitchens to feed the rest of your crew. You can also take direct control of a new recruit for dangerous nighttime supply runs. The resources you plunder go towards modular upgrades in and around your homestead, and in the long run, a greater sense of stability as you endeavor towards establishing order in your own way. With its scores of shambling horrors, randomly occurring objectives, and 16 square kilometers of desecrated real estate, State of Decay creates a thoughtfully realized survival simulation that drives the identity of this unique zombie title. Once you're focused on claiming a tainted plot of land to call your own, you'll feel invested in more than just the minute-to-minute rush of bashing heads in. Long-term planning to secure sufficient food and supplies takes as much consideration as your most perilous short-term skirmishes. State of Decay's undying world can all at once feel vast, overwhelming, and exhilarating. In the end, it's an experience that's what you make of it. This is a game that no doubt brims with a font of thoughtful twists and interesting ideas, but a general sense of roughness in terms of both looks and execution is inescapable. Wonky shaders and pop-into clipping and more, there's a certain ugliness to the world that isn't always intentional. The technical side of the equation just isn't able to match the ambitious design, oftentimes resulting in a glitchy, janky, and overall unpolished feel that's hard to shake. And therein lies the biggest paradox of this living dead simulation. State of Decay is a game that is, in many ways, both the best and the worst zombie game you've ever played. For all of its bugs, blemishes, and festering imperfections, this game realizes an untapped style of survival gameplay that genre nuts should definitely take notice of. It doesn't reach the level of quality some other zombie titles have clambered up to, but for all of its awkward shambling and stumbling around, State of Decay avoids much of the stagnation that seems to have settled over both the zombie and survival horror genres as a whole. Looks can be deceiving. There's more life in this unique Xbox Live Arcade title than you might imagine.